Well, we actually made it, Chris. Welcome to Tales of Wales.
Yeah, if you were on tender hooks last week, going, will they make it to the castle? We did.
There's a little wander. We're in some bit of nothing. Oh, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this fella, William Marshall, in a bit. I actually don't want to do the pod because it's actually interesting.
It's actually I want to read the bits, yeah.
Well, we are at the base of a Norman castle. So soon after the Battle of Hastings in 1066, the victorious Norman invaders looked to Wales. But it wasn't until 1093 when Rhys ap Tewdwr, who I mentioned on the pod a few weeks ago, he was the last prince of South West Wales who died.
Was he Lord Rhys's descendant?
Yeah, he was like his granddad, I think. He died.
Sorry, ancestor, not granddad.
He was killed in Brecon during a skirmish, which I always think is pretty cool. We often say this, they don't think about Wales for pitched battles, but the amount of skirmishes and but yeah, he died, and then Roger de Mortimer, he swept into Pembroke after Rhys ap Tewdwr, who was like the boss. He was the guy who William the Conqueror allowed to remain as the Welsh native leader. He came in here, and that's when he built it. So he established a base of like earth and timber. And there's this guy called Richard de Clare called Strongbow, and he's on our list to make an episode about, because he comes across as like
made the famous cider.
Yeah, I think that's what it's named after. He turned this place. He was like a bastard in Ireland. He was like a really vicious person in Ireland. As in, like, take the Normans, when they came to Wales, they went from here to Ireland. And
particularly cruel,
but he turned this from a Norman hall, like a wooden thing, to the 2-story stone tower that is
he's now standing.
So he's best remembered for like his cruel invasions, but also for what he did for Pembroke Castle. And then William Marshall, like how we walked past a second ago, he's known as the greatest knight who ever lived. He was like regarded as the best in terms of like
I have read something about him. It's got like a title like that, isn't it? It's called like the Great Knight or something like that.
He's almost mythical. He's a part of like they kind of incorporate him into modern day King Arthur stories as like the villain, but he's like the perfect villain. He married Strongbow's daughter, and then he inherited this castle. And then he turned the stone thing into this big keep, which is the part we're in now. And then over time, they built into it like a stronger place. So like this is like 1247, and they just kept building it, and it had like slight local resistance in some of the wars, but didn't really have too much like damage to it. And then he got Glyndwr's rebellion. He came to attack all of Wales, and this is one of the few places that withstood it. It escaped getting a siege because the constable Francis. He just paid. We mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
He was just like,
I've got enough money. Don't Henry hassle me. Here's a couple of coins.
So at the time, Cardiff had been burnt down, Caerphilly had been burnt down. Like all the iron rings had been taken, Harlech had been taken, all the big castles, and then Pembroke was like, "Shut up! Here's your money."
I always think with this, with the Welsh rebellions as well, is you forget. I certainly forget that we attacked Welsh towns and Welsh cities because they were under like Norman or Saxon control, whatever the rebellion is, whatever era that is. You end up.
The locals get fucked.
Yeah, the locals get fucked, and it's like you said, you burnt Cardiff to the ground, all this sort of stuff. You always think of it as attacking England or something like that, but as opposed to like your own land.
In Cardiff, the Greyfriars were massive supporters of Glyndwr, and he didn't touch their churches, but he burnt down like Llandaff Cathedral. And he'd do all that. He'd attack as the religious builders by the Greyfriars because he was like, they're their pals. But one time they put all their like gold and stuff in Llandaff, and they were like, "What have you done?" He's like, "Oh, I think it was yours."
Sorry, Dad. Sorry.
And you did mention on yours, during the English Civil War, Pembroke was a parliamentarian stronghold, and they were majorly. In comparison, the area was a pro-royalist county, so and the Wales in general was
was very royalist.
But this was a parliamentarian stronghold. So when Pembroke soldiers failed to be paid for their promised wages after a parliamentarian victory, Pembroke turned their back on Parliament and became a springboard for a new rebellion in 1648. There's a 2-month siege led by Cromwell himself. So there's quite a few pubs here that have photos of him, or like artwork of him, or things named after him because he was here for ages.
Also, shark fucking horror. The central government fucking over Wales again.
But because of that, so Cromwell does 2 months siege, and the town and the castle suffered enormous damage because fucking Cromwell can't have anything nice. And like,
he literally is the biggest boring bastard. But it's all right to be a boring bastard, but to enforce your boredom on everyone else.
He also, the reason the south side that is damaged because he put a bunch of fucking gunpowder in them and blew up the south front and all the external sides.
Like you said earlier, you said this to me. It's like he has slighted so many castles, and like they could have been glorious little monuments.
They would have been such a like nearly every castle in Wales has been slighted. Most of them haven't been left for to ruin. They were just slighted by him. So,
ugly moly bastard.
The old warp face. So a quick factoids. It was built in 1093 by Arnulf de Montgomery with a timber fortification on the rocky promontory. The massive round keep was made by William Marshall in the 12th and 13th century. It was built over a natural cavern, a Wogan cavern, which is unique amongst British castles. Pembroke is built directly over a natural limestone cave. And I think it's one of the only ones made that's still surviving in the UK that has a natural spring underneath it, or natural. And it's perfect for bringing in like contraband, or if you're under siege, having people bring stuff to you.
Yeah, that's like similar to Dunevra. It doesn't have the spring. I think it's Dunevra Castle, or maybe it's Carrickenden. I can't remember now, but it's one of those two that has like a mile long. It's got a huge cavern underneath it. It was ideal if you're under siege. You could sneak the IPs out.
Same with Harlech. Harlech has like steps going from the sea, but this has underneath it like this limestone cave where if it was ever under siege, it could always be replenished. I always think, why don't we split boats to like stop it? But I don't know. For some reason that doesn't work. Anyway, so other things. Big thing is Henry VII, the king who won at Bosworth, who stopped the Plantagenet region era. He's the one who stopped Longshanks' reign, or his family's reign, and then he became the first Welsh person to be King of England. He was born here, and then when he came back to start his war against King Richard, when he came back from France, this is where he landed and started his walk from here to end up being. It's mad. This is the start of him becoming the Tudor dynasty, and it is here. This is where it happened.
I don't think. It was definitely taught to us in school, but like Henry VII was Welsh born, wasn't he? And it's like the whole dynasty comes from that. I don't know how often that is taught. I don't know. In Wales, obviously, it would be taught.
They call him an English king, is it? Well, not English. He's King of England, but he's Welsh. Anyway, that's the thing. Should we now just go for a little wander? No, welcome back. We decided to stop recording. Jack suggested we don't walk and talk because you don't really take it in, and it was such a good point because we ended up having a class time. Probably our best visit anyway.
Absolutely. It was like when we did this in Chepstow, because we were walking and talking, like trying to do the pod as we went. It was always that.
You're a bit embarrassed as well.
And there's people, if people are close, you're like trying to hide away, tuck away in the corner, and all this sort of stuff. And not really taking
you got spotted, you got papped the other day at an event.
I did. Yeah, you know what? I need to actually find his name. I've got it here somewhere, right?
But the pod's getting that kind of level where people sometimes will recognise us, which is nuts because we're fucking two dorks.
Absolutely.
But some guy who you didn't know him, did you?
So I was at a conference for work. And I haven't told like my work colleagues because I'm so numbingly embarrassed about it.
We slag off most of what we work.
Yeah, there's that as well. But this guy Dan Westbury, if you're listening, Dan Westers, he came up to, he shook my hand. Right, I was about to do some.
Shake me the hand.
Shake me the hand, please.
Shake your hand again.
Basically, I was like, right, I'm going to do some work now. I was after lunch. I was like, I got to do these interviews with people, and the guy came up to me. It's Dan. And he shook my hand and said, "Oh, it's Jack, isn't it?" And I said, "Yeah." And I thought, "Oh, he knows me in a professional capacity." And he went, "Oh, do you do Tales for Wales?" I was like, "I do Tales for Wales." And he said he was a long time listener. He listened for years and all this. And he was very, very nice. Made my head enormous.
And it's already a big head.
It's already a big head.
You got a big bunch.
And I'll corroborate what I told you, Dan, at the time. Because I said, my wife's going to hate you because when I go back now,
You
like,
get
I'm a fucking celeb. I'm a local celeb.
I'm fresh.
The last time
meat.
I got recognised was in Cardiff, and I was like, I would not let it go. And the same thing happened. So my wife was she was like, oh, for God's sake, because going, for Christ's sake, Jack. But no, but in a nice way. But it was like, oh, God,
that's just went above us.
You'll
hear behind us there's been a flood in Wales, the rain recently, and we're on the river that
Storm
called Claudia. But we're currently sat on the riverbank in a pub called the Waterman, and it is an absolutely beautiful
pub. The river's like literally almost at our feet, but it's nice. Sorry, just to turn back. Thank you, Dan, for listening.
Sorry.
And shaking my hand at the conference. It made what was otherwise an all right work conference just that a little bit better that we had a little tail's head there with us.
Well, this actually isn't a river. It's a pond. It doesn't seem it, does it? It's called the Mill Pond that we're sat on. It feels like that should be a river going up for ages.
I know geologists, but this looks
like
flowing. A river.
It looks like a river. If it looks like a river, it smells like a river.
It's got a bridge over it. That's a river, mate.
Bridge over a river.
Bridge over a river pond. Right.
But we are now sat in the Waterman, digesting what was a really fun trip, exploring the castle.
I actually really liked it. It was I was just so into it like the whole time. Really absorbed
it's cool
it this time.
Like, Wales just has 800-year-old buildings you can just wander around that have not just lived in, but have experienced the full remit of life, like literally war, death, birth, life, love,
loss.
And it's got this cave that is like 10,000 years old.
Wogan's Cave,
which was sick, wasn't it? Jack had this really good idea.
I actually thought that was one of the highlights for me. Yeah. It's built so Pembroke Castle, for those who don't know, is built over this Neolithic cave called Wogan's Cave.
I got a video of it on Insta.
Yeah, where they think, they know. Sorry, people like from the Stone Age will live there and stuff like that, and
Romans went there as
basically
well.
when it was an actual functioning castle above it, they used it as a cellar more than anything. Yeah. But it's so cool to go down and experience that. I don't think I've ever been down to something like that.
Lovely.
And the
fact it's underneath this grand fucking castle that withstood fucking English Civil War, Welsh rebellions.
But I 100%, if I was there at night, I'd be shitting myself.
Jack had a good idea, saying it's mad there's never been a horror made about a castle, which is valid because it's spooky as all hell.
Make it someone who, or a group of people who go to investigate most haunted places. They go to a castle after hours. They're not allowed, but they sneak in.
Yeah,
then can't get out.
Pretty easy.
Oh yeah, easy.
Scale
but they can't. Walls. Then they can't get out. Yeah. They get assaulted by ghosts and whatever, ghouls and ghosts and goblins. And then I just think that it's so prime for that because just sitting there with all this dripping water coming down, it's a very eerie kind of soundscape there, isn't it? But no, it's really cool. It's really, I highly recommend. Go to Pembroke Castle.
Yeah.
And those who listened to the last episode, it was touch and go whether we were going to fucking bother, to be honest.
So close to bailing.
I feel 100% better than we did earlier.
Yeah. And
it's probably the 2 points I had. But,
it's not just I felt rough. I just couldn't be arsed. I think so much of life, people just can't be arsed. And I get it, because it's tiring and you're working hard and things are tough. All you want to do is just fucking sit down.
Yeah.
Life is worth doing stuff. And I can't remind myself sometimes, it is worth getting up and doing something.
Put the effort in a little bit, yeah.
And we're in a pub. I mean,
we literally had to psych ourselves up. Cheers.
What a life.
We had to psych ourselves up to go to this castle. Yeah. The whole fucking reason we came here was to go to the castle. And we were like, oh, should we bother? We literally had to be let's just take a step back and go, are we really not going to go to this fucking castle?
We've travelled 4 hours just to drink at the tea of the castle.
to drink at a pub, which is something we could do back home.
Yeah. Although, good pubs so far.
Very good pubs. The Old Kings, beautiful. This water, what's it called? The Waterman.
And then I reckon Royal George has got our name all over it. And as a day tour, I'm buzzing for the sesh.
Yeah, long-time listeners will know this. New listeners may not, but Frank's is normally not.
I'd say the last couple of years I've changed.
You've actually changed your tune because I think you've just you measure yourself before and you've laid off the coke for one. The bag is no longer available. But also, I think because you had that rep for not being good on the second day, you're like, I'm not having it. And you've tried to counter it.
I always used to think, I just can't hack it. And I was just physically, I was like, oh, I'm just not in the mood. Now, I wake up and it's I think because we have to, life is quite serious. When you do get, your
an opportunity,
you make, fuck it, let's just have the best
time imagine ever. Today if we were let's just lay off
I'll
it
be in
and,
a room on my phone.
Fuck that,
I'll scroll. Endlessly scroll. What's the point?
No, the last few times, mate, you've been very good. When we went on a lads' holiday in Spain.
But it helps just sticking to pints.
You're a pintsman through
I
and
think
through.
I'm one of the great pintsmen. I was thinking this the other day.
I mean, I'm saying to myself, I'm one of the great pintsmen.
Because I drink gallons of it.
Yeah.
Like Jack's about 2 pints behind me right now. He's not.
He's been baiting me so hard today.
He's about
I'm not
2
going
sips
to
behind me.
Yeah.
But they just go down.
Do a big one.
They go down so nice. And I know fucking wankers like, oh, it's Carling, it's water. Yeah, piss lager. It's amazing.
You gave us. We tried to be patriotic earlier. In that Old King's Arms, whatever it's called.
With a Welsh brewed lager.
And we went, well, a Welsh brewed lager, putting back to the Welsh economy. Fucking sick.
It's a dog shit.
Disgusting. We were like, this is too chewy. And for the first one on a hangover, you don't want that.
You don't want that.
You need all reliable. You need piss
and
lager.
we were hoping to get a pint at breakfast, but none of the pubs did like an early brekkie.
This is the thing about living in the city as well. You can go to a Spoons, you can get a pint at fucking like 9 a.m. if you want. Over here, it's like they have like respectable people.
When I went away with Emma for our to avoid bonfire night for the dog and for my birthday, we were looking for a pub, and the pub. There was only 2 pubs in this town. We were like this kind of little Cotswold village.
And it was like 3.
Been open till 3. One of them, it doesn't open Monday and Tuesday at all, and then it opens at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. And we were like, we got there for 1, and it wasn't open, so we just had to walk around for a bit. And I'm just like, this is fucking mental.
We're in a town right now that's birthed the odd rebellion. Right?
Yeah.
If the government came up tomorrow and said pubs don't open till 3 from now on, I would be fucking rebellion.
But do you remember, we grew up in the era where they changed the the pub opening hours? Because it used to be like 11 p.m. most places. Now it's 24 hours.
On a Sunday as well.
Well, Wales was Aberystwyth was the last place in the UK to change Sunday laws. Yeah. There was no pub because Wales is quite
on the border. You
religious.
Pop over to England to go to the pub on Sunday.
Wales is quite Methodist and very religious.
Quite pious.
Yeah. So there was no drinking on Sunday on the Sabbath.
But made up for it since.
Yeah. But ironically, like vicars are always pissed.
Yeah.
So
they're always fucking trying to
diddle
wine down your gut, touch you.
Diddle. What are your highlights? It's not Pembroke Castle. What were your highlights?
Right, I love the. There was this. I don't really call it a tower. I guess.
Keep.
A tour. Keep.
Oh yeah.
We went in. Basically, you weren't allowed to go up.
We scaled the wall.
We scaled the wall, right? We say a wall. It was about the size of a
that was, I'd say, the coolest thing we've ever done.
Coolest thing we've ever done.
Yeah, behind bars.
Smashed my knees to bed.
I tried to hop up an 18-stone tum-tum.
We went, right, I'm going to have to do this gradually. Same here. I was like, in my youth, I could have jumped.
I could have heaped that,
But anyway,
35-year-old.
We went up and we actually had a proper look, and you could see, like, the internal is all, like, rotted away.
Yeah.
You could see where the beams for the floorboards were and stuff. And that was cool as fuck.
I like that.
This huge tower. I think that was one of my best bits. But I will say that the cave, Wogan's Cave, was excellent.
Well, we learned that it could be garrisoned, so like defended by less than 30 men, and it's so clear. It's huge. It's like fucking. It's bigger than a rugby pitch. It could fit probably like 2 rugby pitches in there, and it's on the top of a craggy like cliff edge. Not a huge cliff, but it's still big.
The river surrounds most of it. So you can only attack it really.
Yeah. Well, I reckon it's probably man-made. I think some of these ponds most likely be man-made.
Yeah, you probably diverted it at some point.
But it was by 30 people to defend against hundreds, and you can see why. Because if you don't have siege weapons, we said this, the Welsh never had good siege weapons until the French came with the Wellington Dude, so in the 1400s. But this was built in the 1100s and 1200s. You just couldn't batter down that. No. There's only a few entry points, and you can just fucking
a fucking foot thick rock wall. You just can't. You couldn't get.
And some of them are like 6 feet deep.
Oh yeah, we were saying in the inner keep sort of thing. There's like 6 foot walls. Like, there's no way.
And you can imagine if an army did batter down the first part, when you go back to the second rampart, you defended. Jack was saying you could picture us just defending it here. The hallways are so narrow. Yeah. You only need their numbers cut for nothing.
We were saying like this in this tower. It was like if you just fell back to that, the outer walls are breached.
They breached the outer walls.
You could defend that with like 10 men, no problem, right? But then it was like it would be taken, but we were saying how it would be like. The attacking army would have to go, right, probably 5 of you are going to die.
Yeah, you're going to die.
You're going to die.
On the first walk.
The first 5 in there are going to die. but we got to do it. Like me and Frank said, I would never do that. I go, no, I don't care.
I was thinking this: if you run into a battle, I pretend to do my shoelaces up. So whenever I'll catch you up, lads, and then I'd come in like third or fourth wave.
Yeah, and go,
I'd see how the tide was going.
Yeah,
you know, like in the Battle of Pitheth when the Welsh archers turn against the English.
I would be the Welsh archers.
Yeah.
As soon as
the tide is
English were getting belted, I go, I was actually
bread of heaven.
Bread of heaven. Down, boys.
Shall I both down? I also
wasn't faithful to the Welsh crown.
My thing in there was also the fact that you don't need 100 men, and actually 100 men is bad because if you're under siege, you got 100 gobs to feed, and if you only got 30 men and the castle's got grain and all that stuff, you could feed them for literally years. Yeah. When Harlech and some of the other castles, is it Baymeris up in Anglesey and this morning, when they were under siege by Owain Glyndŵr, and the defendants stayed there for fucking months because they could there was only a couple of them, literally less than 50. And like men at arms, the same men at arms. So it's kind of like a term for a knight. A man at arms wouldn't just be on his own. A man at arms would have sometimes up to 6 archers, like a squire and different things. So if you said
a sort of mini commander, of like a small retinue of.
So if you ever read, it was defended by 6 men at arms, that would also mean their archers, the 20 people, So sometimes more, sometimes less. It's like they were guaranteed you'll have people around them. A men at arms is someone of note. Is that on?
Really interesting.
Doesn't look like it's on.
I'm sure it is.
Doesn't it move when it's yapping?
Yeah. Now it's on.
Oh no!
Fuck's sake. That might be picked up on yours.
I don't know. Maybe We'll turn it up.
We'll try.
Oh Christ, we're doing
Cripes
so
and
well.
Cribbins, mate. Cripes and Cribbins.
Well, should we wrap it up there and we'll do a Patreon episode? Now we're recording.
Yeah, so that's about what? About 20
I know it's less than this, but it's fine.
Hopefully you heard me.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. I bet we might.
Yeah, you're right.
Fuck's sake.